Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, February 13th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, last week we talked about maybe a Google update happened. Google didn't really confirm anything. They did say there were some tweaks or stuff that are constantly happening, which is what they always say anyway. But it seems like it was more e-commerce focused. Search metrics, Marcus Tober did a post basically going through different metrics that they have, and they have a lot of metrics. And they really said it was really around brand keywords, around e-commerce related stuff. So like Nike, Adidas, eBay, Zappos, stuff like that. And it seems like things may have reverted back. It might be Google's working on something or tweaking some algorithms around e-commerce related types of queries. We don't have any confirmation about this, but that's more we have, and it seems to have settled down for the most part, as of now at least. The next thing we have is that Google released, at least to a small set of users, an alpha release of the Search Impact Report. And this is in the Google Webmaster Tools. It's the new search queries report we were expecting to happen over the next few weeks. And Google has released it to myself and a bunch of other test users to then give them feedback on this report. It's really nice, actually. So here's the overview of the report. And basically what this report gives you is a breakdown of clicks and positions metrics by 6 different dimensions, specifically dates, queries, pages, countries, devices, and search property like web, images, and so forth. And you go through each one. The cool thing is that it goes ahead and lets you compare stuff. So you can actually compare by 7 days, by 28 days, or by custom date period, and so forth. So it has a lot of cool data. You definitely want to take a look at this. This is an early release that you don't have access to yet, but Google will release it over time. This is interesting. So Google, John Mueller, went ahead and talked about about Google's whitelist or exception list. Back in March 2011, Matt Cutts said they do have exception lists for search algorithms. I'm sorry, for algorithms. And he said they didn't, and they did. So he didn't go into it in more detail. So John Mueller, this week or the past week or so, actually went into it in more detail. Specifically, he said that Penguin and Panda, those algorithms, and most search quality algorithms, or all search quality algorithms, do not have exception lists or specifically whitelists. He did say that algorithms like Safe Search, the image search filter, do have filters and stuff like that, or exception lists, but not search quality algorithms like Panda or Penguin. So it was interesting to see that from him as well. Also this morning, Google said that they do not. John Mueller's Google said basically that Panda, a site is not impacted by their duplicate titles or meta descriptions and stuff like that. So the Panda algorithm is not really going to look at, does this site have duplicate title tags, does this site have duplicate meta tags, and it's going to go ahead and hit it with a Panda algorithm or with a search quality algorithm in general just because of duplicate title tags and stuff like that. He said it is an issue that you probably should look at and fix, but it's not specifically going to hurt your search quality, he said. So it's definitely interesting to see that in terms of the Panda algorithm. It probably would shock a bunch of people in the SEO space around that. This is big. Google announced, and it's actually out there now, a new search-related knowledge graph, specifically around medical data. So before and after, you do a search for frostbite, you get a little knowledge graph snippet here, causes, symptoms, first aid, preventions, and stuff. You clicked on it to give you more information. Now it's actually giving you a more graphical experience, the symptoms, about, treatments, and so forth. Here's an animated GIF of how it looks like. You speak your search, or you do your search in Google, and what is tonsillitis, and then it gives you these screens which has more information over here, and so forth. Let me try to bring it up with frostbite right now. Yeah, so there it is. It's actually live in the search results. You can see it has these tabs over here. And this is actually being vetted by Google's doctors, team of doctors specifically, with other resources like high quality websites, the Mayo Clinic data, and a bunch of other things. But Google specifically is vouching for this information. It's much more graphical and so forth. So that's interesting to see as well. So Google also said, this morning at least, John Mueller said that the people are complaining that, again, we only have 90 days worth of search query data in Google Webmaster Tools. Google's Analytics, or Google themselves, took away the search query data that we have in Analytics, which gave us all historical data, and they took that away using not provided. I'm not going to go into those details. So basically, we're asking, why can't we have our search query data? Why can't you give us more of that data in Google Webmaster Tools? Back in 2013, Matt Cutts kind of implied that we would be getting a year's worth of search query data. Never happened in Webmaster Tools. And now John Mueller is saying, you know what? It might happen at the end of this year, the second half of this year. We'll see if that actually happens or not and how long it's going to happen. But I agree, it definitely is due. Obviously, you could export the data, but most people want to get all their historical data going back as far as possible. Talking about Google Analytics, something happened on February 9th. I asked Google for a statement. I have not got anything, but there's tons and tons of websites that see this in the traffic drop. Just drops off completely. Gone. Some people see a little bit of traffic, not the normal traffic, but the February 9th on Monday, if you go to Google Analytics, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a huge drop off to zero traffic on February 9th. Again, Google has not commented on this. They haven't responded to me about this. I asked them several times and I got nothing. There are tons, thousands and thousands of people complaining about this. Talking about data, Google's Webmaster Tools data also, this is actually on February 7th, Saturday I believe, it stopped updating since then. If you want to get more data from search queries or Google Webmaster Tools data past February 7th, you're not going to get it until Google updates this. This is fairly common with Google Webmaster Tools. It's not so common with Google. It's not common at all with Google Analytics. And finally, Google AdWords has updated the tracking URLs to a new format, specifically called final URL. And Google says this is going to lead to less time spent managing URL tracking tools, reduce crawl and load times on your website, as well as there's a new value track parameter that helps you gain additional insights in your ads. And this is what it looks like. Eventually, Google's going to update everybody from the destination URL to the final URL. And there's a lot more details about that for AdWords advertisers. Anyway, that is the search news over the past week at the Search Roundtable. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news at seroundtable.com. And thanks so much for listening. I'll speak to you guys next week. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye.